What is going on, Sparks of the Paranormal Family? I cannot tell you how excited I am for this episode. For those of you guys who missed last week's episode, as soon as this one gets done, go over there, go over back onto the page, do some digging. You're going to find the episode with Miss Jane from Shadow Visions Paranormal down in Australia. Incredibly awesome episode. You guys really don't want to miss that. If you have, I feel bad, but go watch it because that's the smart thing to do. But today, ladies and gentlemen, I have been trying to get this to happen for a while. We have been working and trying since like November, but guys, it's finally here, and I'm stoked. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to introduce to you for the first time, hopefully just the first time, and we'll have more. Shawn and Cody from The New Reality. What's going on, guys?
What's going on, everybody?
How's everybody doing?
I'm fantastic. I'm giddy. I'm downright giddy right now. But yeah, you know what? I'm gonna fix this because this is hurting my brain. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna do that. That's nice. That's simple. It's clean. It's pretty. All right. So we got a lot of people in here. We got Cassie's in the house. How's it going, Cassie? We got my buddy Connor from Bigfoot Anonymous. How's it going?
Nice.
We got you guys in here. I don't know if you guys knew that you were here, but you are. I'm super excited about that. So I want to go ahead. I want to dive into some stuff. So how did you guys end up in the world of the paranormal? Was it experiences? Was it skepticism? Was it obsession? How did that get started for you?
Cody?
It's are you talking about separately or together?
Separately.
So separately, it's funny, I tell this story a lot, but this story is great. So for me personally, when I was 16 years old, me and my buddy were hanging out at my house, and at about 3 a.m., we heard this vacuum, like it sounded like a vacuum, and I'm like, "What is my mom doing? It's 3 a.m. and she's vacuuming. She's out of her mind." So we go in the living room to investigate, and it's not coming from the living room; it's coming from the garage. So we head over to the garage, open the door, and in the middle of the garage is my dad's leaf blower, and it's just on and in the middle of the room, not plugged in, on and blowing, and yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, jaw dropping.
Yeah, I look at my buddy Nick and I'm like, "Dude, are you seeing this?" And he's like, "Yeah, go turn it off." And I'm like, "No, bro, you go turn it off." So we finally muster up. We both, we both walk over there, and I had to physically turn the knob to the off position in order for it to turn off. And it's one of those blowers that you have to plug in then turn on. So
yeah,
it was pretty crazy at 16 years old. I'm like, "What is this?" And ever since then, I've been fully engulfed into the paranormal. It just sparked my interest.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Wish I had a better
Shawn?
story than that, but my whole thing was, even growing up, I've had this strong desire to study ghosts. Even in first grade, I was going to the library, pulling books out that had ghosts or UFOs, and so there's always been a deep down inside an interest for the paranormal or supernatural. Obviously, I'm a medium, but I think I had intentions, or I already had some understandings back then. I just didn't understand what it was. But I think what really got me into it was, Cody. I had a meditation group, so I was already into the metaphysical type of side of things. But Cody ended up doing this meetup thing and did an investigation the first time. And he calls me up the night of that, he got home. He's like, "Bro, you need to do this." And we went and did the next day, or maybe it was 2 days later, we went and did an investigation. And I think we were already like lined up to be really good investigators from day one. It felt good. We worked well together from the beginning, and I think that it's been an ongoing since.
So how did you guys meet? Because it sounds like you guys have known each other for a while.
So we, Cody, well, again, I had a meditation group. Again, just having a strong intuitiveness. I was had this meditation group with Cody's uncle, and I remember meeting Cody or seeing Cody at a lake that's local from where we're at. And I remember asking Cody's uncle, I said, "Who's the guy over there?" "Oh, well, that's my nephew, Cody." And I looked at him, I'm going, I'm going to be doing work with him. This was before I really embraced my awareness, but sure enough, here we are today.
Wow.
Continued. Yeah, brotherhood. I knew him before I even knew him. I think the feeling's mutual, but
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what I love about the paranormal, man. It brings people together. It brings people together, and it's insane. I had a moment kind of like that where a really good friend of mine that I met through some other people that have been on the podcast. We ended up investigating together down in Wilmington, and on that investigation, we got to talking and discovered that we're actually cousins.
wow,
That's crazy.
that's crazy. Wow,
Dead people bringing people together, man.
it's fantastic.
It's insane. It's insane. So I discovered you guys because I mean I'm a huge fan of the haunted side with Patrick and
Who are they?
Patrick?
Who's it? What's that? So I discovered you guys on the Crown Point Mill episode.
Oh, yeah.
And bro, I mean,
On it.
woo!
Yeah.
Like half of the stuff that happened with you guys, I was flipping out, man. Like if it wasn't for that thermal, the whole thing with the thermal footage, dude, are you kidding me? So run me back through that. Run me back. How did it feel walking in there for one? And two, walking around in there had to be just jarring.
Yeah. The Crown Point definitely is probably one of the most haunted locations we've been to. And it's definitely unnerving walking in that place by yourself and let alone at night. So it's pretty crazy.
That whole thing with the, like I said, with the thermal going off and it just literally watching it just almost engulf you guys just in cold.
Yeah.
Like take me back to that moment, man. How like were you guys freaking out? Like what was going through your heads?
So that whole place was crazy. Like it messed with every part, or the ghosts messed with every part of you they could. They messed with you emotionally, physically. We got stuff thrown. We seen, the heat and cold fluctuations on the thermal, as well as feeling it. We all got goosebumps at one point in time. Like pretty much everything that you want to experience in an investigation happened that night, right, Shawn?
Yeah, I mean, we were seeing lights or flashes of light. Myself and Patrick saw it. It was behind one of the canisters around the ground. So we were seeing and feeling like we all were like, I don't want to say unnerved the whole time, because there's this feeling of a presence constantly by us. And again, like the thermal was amazing. I mean, if you really look at that thermal footage, it looks like a face looks behind or comes out from behind Jason and looks at the thermal and the camera, and it's as clear as day. It's a face.
Yeah.
Cody and I, with Fake Jason, went there again recently, and Fake Jason and myself saw a full body apparition there. That place is haunted. It is phenomenal haunted.
Yeah.
Oh, and like what was insane is you guys were standing outside just talking, and there was stuff going on inside that was quite audible.
Yes.
Like slams and all kinds of stuff. And I'm like, and these guys about to walk in there.
Yeah. That's what we do.
like part of me, like as a viewer, I'm like, there's no way. But then there's a part of me that as an investigator, I'm like, oh, I love it. I want to go. Go.
I was talking to a mutual friend today, and I won't say any names, but Cody knows him really well. It starts with a C and ends with a W. He said the first time he saw the new reality, and it was a live stream with Patrick at, I think it was the Truckee Murder House, and us going down into the basement and not even thinking twice about it. That's kind of where we're at. Cody and I don't really. Yeah, we've had several very unnerving situations where we're like, holy cow, what the heck is that? But there's not a lot of like fear enough to where we won't go into a place that most people won't. So
yeah.
Well, what's great about Crown Point is we are the second team to investigate that place. So it's only been the side and the New Reality, which is awesome.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
And we've both of us caught so much in that location.
Oh yeah. So, talk to me about the farmhouse. I want to know about the farmhouse. Are we allowed to talk about the farmhouse?
Farmhouse is our little gem.
Yes. The farmhouse.
So I'll tell you how we came across that place because it's kind of funny.
Okay.
So we were doing an investigation with Patrick, mind you, at the insane asylum. He actually just put a video out about that. Place is crazy haunted, right? So we were looking into other places to investigate, and the chick who runs the insane asylum said, "Hey, there's this abandoned house out in Southern California. Go check it out." She gave me the location. I went there, or we all went there, and immediately, right, Shawn, there just stuff started happening there. I'm pretty sure the first time we got there, rocks were thrown at us.
Yeah.
Like within the first. Yeah, place is crazy.
Amazing is our next release is going to be episode 2 at the farmhouse, because we've done a lot of live streams there. We've caught shadow figures, so many disembodied voices, our sensory deprivation. We're pulling names, and we were able to validate those names, especially our buddy Frank. I knew and Cody knew of a massacre that happened. We didn't necessarily know that it was in that area, but we knew it was in the town that we were investigating. Well, what we found out was where that mass. We'll
keep them on their seat.
I thought we released that. So anyway,
we almost had a scoop, guys. We almost had a scoop.
You'll see this week.
Yeah, we'll keep that. I thought we really.
Dang it, so close.
No, so that place is haunted, definitely, and the land has definitely got some issues for sure.
Yeah. Cassie's talking about how bonkers the farmhouse is.
Well, that's
Emily Men's house.
We caught our most
love a good haunted farmland.
That was that shadow figure. That was nuts. That shadow figure is the craziest thing we've caught.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Big News top 5.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and I got to tell you, there's nothing cooler than, because I obviously, who doesn't keep up on Nuke's top 5, but there's nothing cooler than not only seeing people that you love to watch, on there, but to see like Cody's freaking face on the thumbnail for it.
I gotta bring that up, bro.
I was like,
yeah, that's awesome.
I was like, oh, dip, it's Cody. This is gonna be a good one.
It's the most flattering face I've ever seen. Like, what the?
I rousted it for it, but like that place genuinely was unnerving. Like to have the things that happen at that place, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And to pull the names, I mean, the names are consistent. When you're doing a sensory and Frank keeps coming up, and Sarah keeps coming up, and Mary keeps coming up, and Ben keeps coming up, and then you go down in the basement, and you're getting whispering voices, and you're getting rocks thrown at you. And that place is known to throw rocks. I mean, we continuously have rocks rolling and making noise, and I think it'll continue, honestly.
Yeah. That's one of the coolest things is when you come across something like that, and you know that it's so powerful there that it doesn't matter what time of day that you go, it doesn't matter when you go, who you go with, stuff is going to pop off.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful and horrifying at the same time, especially when it's something that like, okay, have you guys ever been physically attacked?
Yeah. Twice.
Cody? Whatever reason they like.
Thanks. Yeah, I've actually been zapped before or electrocuted, whatever you want to call it. That was in Tombstone, Arizona.
That's right. I remember seeing that.
Yeah, that was probably the most craziest like physical thing that happened to me investigating. It hurt like hell.
And we were live. We were live when that happened. We were live streaming.
You gotta love it. You gotta love it.
Well, even the farmhouse we had, we were live, and that wispy white mass showed up right in front of Cody at the farmhouse.
Yes.
That was the same day or the same night that we picked up on the shadow figure. So there was a lot that happened that night, and a lot of disembodied voices. Again, our sensory depth is ridiculous. So, and it was just really everything lined up perfectly. Told a great story.
Yeah. Yeah, I love watching people go in on the sensory deprivation or the Estes method, because it's genius. Because what a lot of people don't realize is the fact that not only can your eyes matrix, but your ears can matrix as well. You know, a wind howling can sound like a demonic growl if it hits something properly. Right. You know, a creaking board just because a house is settling can sound like a footstep. But that's why I like the sensory deprivation, because you know, whoever's got the blindfold and the headset on has no idea what's going on. You cannot, under any circumstances, understand what is being asked or what is being said outside of your own little world.
And we can't tell people enough that those are sound canceling headphones. We cannot hear each other, and we purposely try our best to keep ourselves separated enough so we don't hear it. Obviously, we're both, you know, very intuitive, and obviously we could pick up on what's going on, but the ghost box is telling the story because we're communicating with them and asking the appropriate questions. It's phenomenal for us, and we're doing some experimenting with that as well. We won't go into that, but we're trying different things with that because of how good we are with it. And you might see it in some future episodes. We'll see how it goes.
I like the way
you guys you're cutting my legs off here. You can't be just like teasing stuff like this.
How's it? All right, so this coming Sunday, we're releasing our season 2, episode 1 at the farmhouse, and it's a crazy episode. We'll just put it that way.
Yeah. Gotta check it out.
That's all I get. That's all I get. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. I'm not heartbroken. It's okay. It's okay. So, Shawn, talk to me about mediumship, man. When did this start for you? When did you start kind of recognizing that you had this ability? And what does that look and feel like in the moment?
So it's been a transition. Cody's actually been very supportive of it. There's always been an intuitiveness. There's always been me just knowing things and just not embracing it, and not, I like to use the word surrendering to it. As of recently, I had, you know, it's probably been, what do you say, about a year and a half, Cody, or maybe even a little bit more. I decided that I'm going to claim it. And when I decided to claim it, I got really clear. My readings are phenomenal, and I'm not trying to float my own boat. I've had a couple, Cassie can probably let you know about that, but I had a couple readings, and they're just very accurate, and it just became, it's second nature. In the paranormal field, it's different. I do get impressions in a location before we go. Cody, you know, he'll know a little bit about what's going on in the location, and I'll start getting impressions right away, and I'll go, well, I get this, I'm feeling that. Yeah, we could do it on video, but we don't want to saturate it with his intuitiveness, my mediumship, whatever you want to call it, because it's not about that, because we're debunkers. But I have my own practice on the side. I do readings, and again, just being able to bring the I'm gonna screw this word up, the validity of the mediumship to our team. So when I feel something, people are like, this guy's a legit medium. He's not pulling stuff out of the butt. But again, we don't want to saturate the new reality with that, because we're not, I won't say any like TV shows that are out there. That's not what we're looking for. We're debunkers. We're looking for, you know, if we can debunk it, we're going to debunk it.
Real answers.
I feel it. I can get myself embedded in it, but I would rather not. It's about being a paranormal investigator.
Yeah. And Cody, what abilities do you have when it comes to like intuitiveness and stuff like that? Like how does that look for you?
I've never been asked that question.
Nice. On the spot.
I'm very good at feeling energies out, different type of energies, and kind of knowing where they're at. So I'll walk into a place and feel where it's at, rather than it coming intuitively to me. However, I do
Mm.
pick up intuitive as well. It just kind of depends. I don't necessarily claim it as much as Shawn does. At least not yet anyway. I'm still working on a bunch of stuff on my end, but I do like being able to go into a room and saying, "Oh, I feel this here, or I feel this here." And 9 times out of 10, that's usually the case.
Yeah. You really
So
shine when it comes to like the sensory depth. Like that's when we're really using our talents as far as the intuitiveness and the mediumship abilities. So you know that's where we shine the best, I think.
So Emily Menshouse, great friend of mine, by the way, asked a really good question. I'm actually going to expand this question. Do either one of you do remote viewing?
Yes, it's easy for me to put myself in a location and feel it out. I've actually done a remote investigation with another team, which was on the other side of the country.
Wow.
You know, there is no real distance. It's in the. This is going to get way deep, but there is the illusion of being separated from a location. It's an illusion. It's easy to be there and not have to be there physically. I can pick up on whatever's in a location. I can feel what's in the location. I don't necessarily have to be there. I can get details. I can actually give you details of the location and inside the rooms and whatever it is. It's not just because we're not there doesn't mean you can't understand what's there.
Right.
Yeah. Hey, Cody, have you ever tried doing remote viewing at all?
Yeah, absolutely. And Shawn and I have actually done this multiple times. Pretty much every time we go to a location, we bounce off each other what we're picking up.
Day one. Since day one.
Yeah, since day one. And we didn't even know what remote viewing was, but that's what we were doing, you know?
Yeah.
And remote viewing actually goes hand in hand with meditation, which, you know, Shawn and I both teach meditation. And, you know, it really focuses in on your abilities and you're able to pick up what is at a specific place, you know?
Yeah. So Crystal Kennedy is asking, where is it? On behalf of her mom, what is remote viewing?
It's kind of like astral projection, but not at the same time. You want to go into specifics, Shawn?
Yeah. Remote viewing is to be able to put yourself in a location and understand what's there and go into detail on what's there. Again, I don't go into details. I don't care what's in the room. I want to know what's there haunting it. So to be able to go from where you're at sitting, like where I'm at right now, go into a location and see what happened, who the person is, and go into how they may have passed. That's my version of remote viewing. A lot of people go into where they can pull paperwork up and read it and all of those things. I don't do that because it's not really what I need to do. I want to know what's going on energetically. What's the haunting? What happened? How did it happen? Is it a woman? Is what she look like? Is it a male? You know, I remember Cody going to a location with his cousins. It was just a tour, a haunted tour. And he started, I went to this haunted tour and I started getting stuff like that. I'm like, all right, bro. So I feel upstairs and I see a woman and she was in this white dress and I saw stretch marks around her neck. She hung herself. It was suicide. He's like, dude, bro. So again, that's remote viewing. You're able to see and put yourself back at the time it happened and see more of the details on how it happened. I could get the emotional feelings of it as well. Like, okay, this woman was very depressed. And then you start seeing why she was depressed. This man that she married got killed in the war, blah, 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 blah. And validating that when, you know, Cody's like, dude, that's legit. It's nice to validate it because then it gives you the confidence to continue to be able to do it. Validation is cool. It really is.
Yeah, I you know, as somebody who is relatively sensitive to spirits and things like that, and also an investigator, and I'm sure you know anybody who has seen any of your investigations can agree that feeling something is one thing, but being able to corroborate it with instrumentation is something completely different.
So important.
I mean, it's, you know, it's the age old adage, when in doubt, throw it out. Yeah. You know, I can base a haunting off of, oh my God, you know, I feel like there's somebody here that died of a heart attack, or there's somebody, standing right behind me. But if there's not a K2 going off, if there's no voices backing it up, can you really claim and bring that to the public and say this is 100% what is going on?
Right.
And that's what we're about, right, Cody?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's all about circumstantial. Like you have to have, if not 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces of evidence going along with what you're picking up. You can't just have a K2 spike and say, oh, that's paranormal. All right, we did our job. Let's go home.
Yeah.
It's
now,
nice.
I will say that there's only one time that I've had a K2 spike that I was 100% sure that it was something, and that's because the thing was moving around.
Right.
And I was not prepared. But I was like, we were literally in these iron gates, of this cemetery, and I don't ever go in. But we had a series of things where I saw something out of the corner of my eye. It looked like there was something standing there. We had a K2 go off just to the left of it. We heard what sounded like footsteps behind us. And I finally broke my rule and I walked in, and this thing starts popping off like crazy. A ball of energy like this big. And it keeps moving around inside of this area. And I was like, do you feel trapped? You can leave. And then all of a sudden, K2 drops out. I go to walk out, and the thing is outside of the gate just on the other side.
Wow.
I was like, are you kidding me?
Visual information. That's always great. Like one of our first, what was it? Our third investigation, Cody, when we went to that theater, and we picked up on a young lady, and we're not going into a location to relieve or release spirits away from their, where they're stuck. That's not our intention, because we're not playing God here, or whatever you want to, whatever your perception is on that. We're here to investigate, but there, every once in a while, it presents itself. It's not, again, we're not looking for that, but every once in a while, you'll come in contact with something, and really, our intuitiveness says this person feels very trapped, and letting them know that they're not trapped is such a big thing for the thing that feels trapped. And we really got a chance to feel the release of that and the energy.
That's
of that.
crazy.
Yeah, it was an amazing experience. But again, we don't go into locations trying to do that, because that's not, it presents itself when it needs to be done.
Yeah. And I'm going to back Shawn up on that. A lot of people think you go into these places and you're supposed to, set them free or have them move on. That's not the case at all.
Yeah.
Is like Shawn said, we're not God. We don't know what kind of contractual stuff they have going on here. We don't know if they're stuck here for a reason, trying to help somebody. There's a plethora of different, and we can't, as humans, possibly know that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Because you passed away doesn't mean that you're what you have to accomplish here on this plane. Even though you might be shifting from this plane to the next because you're a spirit, doesn't mean that you still are, you're done with what you're supposed to do here. And we're not the ones to judge that. We're not the ones to determine if you're supposed to leave or not. So our intentions aren't to go in to go, we're going to save every spirit that we come across, because it comes naturally. It comes when it's supposed to. And again, we're guided to do that.
Yeah. That's big. One quick thing. Emily Minshouse asked a question, but she basically just wants to hear Shawn say validity again.
Validity.
Got it. Boom. Emily, got it.
He goes, I got you, because for whatever reason. But hey, I got this validity.
And then Nicole asks a very good question. I'm missing something here. How do you debunk something you believe in? That is a great question.
Yeah, absolutely. So yes, Shawn and I both believe in spirits. We believe in ghosts. I pretty much believe in anything, really. At this point, I've seen so much, it's just hard to say it's not. However, we go in with a skeptic mind because we want to debunk stuff that's happening, because our goal as investigators is to prove or disprove paranormal activity. So we're not going to go in and say, oh, everything's haunted and that's it. Because that doesn't make us great investigators. And our goal is to, yes, this is happening, or no, it's really not happening. And you guys will see that in an upcoming episode in season 2, where we actually debunk a lot of the claims.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not about,
I think that Yeah, I think that if you immediately go in and just claim that everything that's happening there is real, it becomes like a certain TV show that I refuse to mention the name of. But
Not everything is paranormal. Everything's paranormal.
not everything's a demon.
Yeah, that too, right?
Wow. Well, wait to just give it away, bro.
Yeah. So,
Hey, I didn't mention any names. They can't come at me. There's no name mentioned, no show, no person, none of it.
what person?
For all they know, I'm talking about the Teletubbies,
Yeah, those are demons for sure.
Clearly. Yeah, Shawn, what were you gonna say about debunking what you believe in? Go ahead and lay it on me, brother.
Well, I think we're going into well, we've done personal cases as well. We want to. The goal is to show our the people that are watching either there's paranormal or there's not. Like, so I can know that there's something there, but I want to show on my piece of equipment, my K2, my EDI, disembodied voices on my recorder or catching it on film. Like, that's the goal. Like, we don't have to know if it's haunted. Our goal is to prove to the viewer if it is or it's not. We may know right away that it's not, but we're gonna continue to dig into it because being a medium, like giving readings to somebody, their loved ones are around them, and you tell their story and help them with whatever they're struggling with. But in a haunted area, a location, it's different to try to communicate with spirit because they may not want to talk to your ass. They may not want to. They may not want to talk to you, and so you really have to ask them the appropriate questions to and get them to feel comfortable with talking with you. And a good example was the Washoe Club Cody and I just did. We released that recently. Was I felt like in the card room there was a woman of the night that would come to each of the gentlemen and talk with them. And I had put that out there. And 2 seconds later, as soon as I said that, you hear a woman's disembodied voice. And we picked it up on two of our cameras. So again, like saying the right things at the right time, they're like, oh my God, if they're a spirit that wants to communicate, they're like, they know I'm here. Yeah. So they try to communicate. And then you have the validation of this place is haunted because you hear it.
Yeah. I completely agree. And then we've got, first of all, our buddy Dan Tex in the house. What's up, dude?
Yo, can we give
How's it going, man?
Dan Tex, he supports everybody. He's an awesome dude.
Everybody.
Yeah.
What the heck, man? Like, I love it.
I know him personally, and he is an amazing person. Daniel, big shout out to you, brother. Yeah, he supports this whole field, and he's just a genuinely a great person.
The definition of paranormal unity in one living person. It's beautiful.
Yes, I love that. Well put, my friend. Well put.
And then let's see. Crystal's got a question earlier. Mom's speaker was playing the DJ system with no one around. Is that a sign of paranormal activity? That is something I think these guys are going to agree. You can't just take one instance as instant paranormal activity. You've got to have consistency. You've got to have there's so much stuff that goes into that. It's pretty insane. I mean, that is easy. It would be something to maybe look into, but it could just be an electric surge that kicked it on.
And there's a lot of that going on right now with a lot of the struggles we have as far as, obviously Texas had a lot of issues and there's a lot of power issues. So yeah, that could be very much not supernatural or haunting.
Yeah.
Consistent.
Very much.
You have a lot of things happening, then you want to look into it. Again, we're big skeptics. Again, we're going to go in and try to prove or disprove. That's how we work.
She says it happens almost daily.
Okay, well then you might want to
have somebody take a look at that. I mean, it could be a faulty system, and it could be a dead person that really likes music. We don't know.
Well, then what you do is when it turns on, you validate it. Like, okay, is someone here? If you are here, turn it off, and then you start getting. If they turn it off, then now you're creating communication, right? I mean, again, I want to. Yeah, I want to empower people. So if you're afraid of this thing and it's doing things that you don't feel comfortable with, tell them like, you need to stop. This is my home. Because a lot of times a haunting is somebody that used to live there and had passed away and they're still there. You have to claim your own power, and you tell them, hey, listen, this is my home. You're causing fear to my family. You need to stop. And put that power out there.
And we'll send you guys out to take a look at it. So Emily says Cody can get full again.
No. I'm not. You know what though? If I do get voted again, it's going to be on camera. I'll tell you that.
And then another great question from Nicole: are poltergeist spirits or energy of living people that are going through extreme stress? That is a good question.
Nailed it. That's exactly what a poltergeist is.
Pretty much exactly what it is. Yeah, you pretty much just answered your own question.
Right.
Yeah. That's pretty much, yeah.
If you've got movement from a spirit, that's not poltergeist. That's a haunting, and that's an energy that's real strong. If it can move stuff and cause movement and move things and slam doors and all that, that's a powerful energy, and it's an amazing haunting.
And I'll tell you what,
very much so. Crystal also saying, give it some more information here. It was my sister's favorite speaker, so our family always says hi to her.
Well, there you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they already claimed it.
Right.
To be.
So go with it. Absolutely go with it.
Oh God, yeah. Heck yeah. If you can contact your spirit through a DJ system, like there's people that, I always talk about, haunted objects, and I always bring out, the stone tape theory, and my reference is always Aunt Ethel's crock pot. Aunt Ethel spends 80 years cooking chicken chili for the family. It's her way of showing love, right?
Yep.
Aunt Ethel dies. Somebody comes to the estate sale, buys her crock pot, and then all of a sudden at 3 o'clock every morning, Aunt Ethel's in the kitchen making chicken chili. If you can actually conversate with your sister through a DJ system, you've got it made. Are you kidding me?
Well said. Absolutely. That would be scary if you just showed up, right? You see her in the kitchen like that. A lot of people, they'd be unnerved. Me and Cody would grab our cameras and our K2s and start trying to talk to the person. But most people don't do that.
No, and that's a sign of a paranormal investigator. 100% is, I've been seeing this random old lady in the house at 3 a.m. Really? Can we come hang out or?
Absolutely. What's funny is my family will come to me or hey, my buddy has this, they have that. And I'm like, really? Do they want us to investigate it or what? Because I don't really want to hear about it.
Yeah. Well, and that's like where I work currently, like working on the lumberyard. People will tell me, "Oh yeah, dude, I live in a haunted house. We've got every night at 3 a.m. I get knocks on my door, and the cats won't go in the back room, and I'm like, you're telling this to a paranormal investigator. I'm assuming you want me to come over."
Right.
And they're like, "Oh no, I just wanted to tell you." And I'm like, "Then shut up."
I don't want to hear about it
because now you've pissed me off, and you've made my when I die you get haunted list.
There you go.
I can get an episode out of it
on my list for
that. Awesome. And then let's see here. I got. I'm thinking about buying an EMF meter. What do you guys think would be her best bet for trying to catch something that she is experiencing right now with this DJ system?
A audio recorder.
Yes, and a K2. You don't need to get a K2. They're inexpensive, and you can also establish communication with a K2. Yes and no, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You don't have to spend a lot of money.
Honestly, audio and a basic audio recorder and a basic night vision camera are your best pieces of equipment.
And honestly, when I got started doing this, I literally was just using a flashlight and a cell phone, because a cell phone is going to pick up a lot of stuff. The mics on those are stupid sensitive these days.
They are.
So, I mean, if you really want to catch good audio and you don't want to spend money, because money is, well, not exactly something that a lot of us have currently, just use your phone. I mean,
Yeah.
you can get
And if they want to talk,
I,
they'll communicate through the phone, and they're learning how to do that.
yeah. Liana asks, and this is a great question. Might have already been asked. What is your best captured haunting evidence to date? That is a great question.
It's got to be the shadow figure at the farmhouse.
Yeah.
I mean, the shadow figure at Washoe Club was pretty cool too, but the one at the farmhouse is just so stupid clear. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And the story behind it, like again, seeing something come in low and then you see it up high. I had seen the night, was it the investigation before? I actually saw my first full body apparition outside the farmhouse, and it started as a crawling, and it didn't look human to me, and then it stood up and dissipated. Well, then the following investigation, we got that shadow figure, and it looked like it crawled in, but then you see it come up higher. So it kind of lined up with what I had seen with my own eyes. So yeah, it's that's definitely one of the most prominent.
Yeah,
that's insane.
And to catch any sort of visual phenomena is insane.
Right.
It's stupid rare.
Yeah.
Because I mean, audio till the cows come home.
Sure, yeah. Absolutely.
I mean, I could literally just sit here, turn on my Necrophonic app, and I could probably talk to somebody.
Right.
You know, but I could also set up my night vision camera in here and catch absolutely nothing for the next 6 months.
Yeah.
You know, it's crazy. It's crazy. See, here we go. Emily Menshouse, completely agreeing here. Oh, yes, I've caught 4 things on video in 20 plus years. That is how rare this stuff is.
Yeah.
Right.
That is the reason that, if you see something if you see a visual on anybody's stuff, fine-tooth comb that junk.
Yes.
Fine-tooth comb it. You can't just accept everything for what it is.
Right. And we can't say that enough. We analyze. Something that looks, you can't even, myself, the shadow figure that I saw in the farmhouse, or that we caught in the farmhouse, looked over it 30 times at least. Cody did the same thing. We're like, is this okay, these guys are walking through here. Is it because of that? No, they're not in the room. There's the lighting's here. So we're analyzing because we're not going to say it's paranormal until we are for sure confident that it's paranormal. And even that, it's like, wow, like, bro, like, is this really paranormal? So you have to analyze it, and you have to be sure before you put it out and say, this is paranormal. This is a shadow figure. But again, like going over it and really just understanding all the lighting and how everything's going. We again, between Cody and I, we went over that several times to make sure that's what we saw and that was what we caught.
Right.
That's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's incredibly important, man. Right. It doesn't even have to be your own stuff. When you see stuff, like, as much as I love Nukes, some of the stuff that comes up on there, I'm going to tell you right now.
Oh, he's got some BS on there.
Ain't no way.
Yeah. Some of the stuff.
It's like he puts up 5 videos a week, and he's like, guess which one's real?
Right.
Yeah. yes.
It's pretty crazy. Let's see here. Leanna saying, wait, that somebody just popped. There we go. I was expecting the cat ball to be up there too.
The cat ball was crazy. To actually see something move in front of my eyes, that was pretty nuts. The only reason why it's not up there is because your question was your best piece of captured evidence. We didn't actually capture the ball moving as soon as it moved. We got it rolling, but that's because Jason turned the camera back around as it was rolling.
Yeah.
Also, another great piece of evidence that's not on camera. It was, but somehow got deleted. At the farmhouse, I was filming Shawn in the basement, and I seen a rock go over my shoulder and hit Shawn in the back of his head.
And I felt it.
What?
On camera, we went back to view it, and it's gone.
And the crazy thing about that, at the same time, a woman's voice said, what did she say? I hate it here, or help me. It was help me. Same time, rock thrown, hits me in the back. I feel it. We go back in the basement, look at it, and a woman's voice, we get the rock hitting me in the back, and then her saying, help me.
Yep.
When we went to go try to look at it, the files were corrupt.
Yeah.
Holy crap, man!
It was awful. It was awful to see that.
I've had that happen before. We were actually down at that investigation with the lady that I found out was my cousin. We were down in the bowels of the USS North Carolina, and I was looking down this hallway that we had been in, and she's like standing maybe 3 feet away from me. I'm looking down the hallway. She is looking at a K2 meter that's sitting on a table in front of us, and it looks like this large figure, and I'm filming, and it looks like this figure is just hauling it down the hallway, trying to come through this, and I backed up. Like, I'm a big dude, but when I see something that big and that dark just hauling it down a hallway, I'm like, no. So I backed up, and I was like, no. Like, yo, that's nuts. And then I kind of like it dissipated, and I went back to my spot, and it happened 2 more times. But that third time, I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna get scared. I'm gonna hold my ground. And it felt like this thing, like you watched it hit the doorway, and then you felt it come into the room.
Yeah.
And I'm a tall dude, but it felt like this thing was looking down at me, and I could feel pressure, like this thing was yelling into my face. And I'm keeping my mouth shut, because the one thing that I do is I'm not going to say something that I'm experiencing until somebody else is experiencing it, because I don't want what I'm experiencing to influence whatever happens.
Yeah.
So she literally goes, I feel like there's somebody yelling at me. And then on the EVP that she was running, it said, because we like to keep it PG, horse poop. And then she's like, I feel like it's an officer. And you hear, yeah. Well, everything that I filmed for that half hour, gone off my phone. Yep. Gone. Like I had never hit play.
Yeah.
Like, are you kidding me?
Where we've gone and we've been at that location. We've been to the location several times. And we go and get ready to go in and try our cameras, try our gear, and nothing worked. It was like, okay, you're not investigating tonight because we don't want you here.
Yeah.
It was that simple. Remember, Cody, the cameras didn't work. All of it wouldn't, like it said, no, it had no chips in it. And we had several cameras, and they all had the same issue. We're like, I guess we're not investigating tonight. They don't want us here. So, yeah, they'll take and do whatever they want.
It's crazy because they will just they literally will just be like, hey, no, I don't want to be seen, I don't want to be heard, I don't want any of this stuff. Right. Like you guys can go now. You guys can go. Yeah. And you're like, but oh no, I guess we're not. Yeah, we're gonna go. Yeah.
You have the experience, right? To be able to have the experience. It's great to talk about it.
Yeah, and
live stream.
It's great to talk about it, but it sucks because I have nothing to prove it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's a great story. Nothing you could prove, right?
It's exactly what it is. It's just a story. I basically caught a fish this big, like
right.
It's pretty much what it is.
Yeah.
It was a goldfish the size of my arm. No, no, it didn't happen. Okay, let's see here. Got another really good question. Have you had spirits you've connected with on location make a connection with you again elsewhere?
Yes. Yes, multiple times. Bog and Frank like to follow us around, and they're from the farmhouse. We actually caught Bog. If you watch the Brackenfern video on our channel, we catch Bog's name and Frank's name. So
great episode, by the way.
Yes, they do follow you around. Which is fine, because they give us paranormal activity, so I'm all about it.
Yeah. I mean, y'all want to show up? As long as you show up to show up, we're good.
Yep.
Don't show up and hang out in the background. Yes. We're ready to play.
Right.
We'll be on camera. All right, we'll keep being on camera.
So, what are give me? I hate to try to narrow it down like this. Give me like a top 5 of places that you've investigated.
We talk about this so much. Go ahead, Shawn.
Wow. Crown Point's really high on mine because the mills have been very good to us. Unfortunately, we never captured it, but I saw my second full body apparition at Crown Point. I saw a very clear shadow figure 10 feet away from me when Cody left a room at the Donovan Mill. And that Donovan Mill is ridiculously haunted as well.
Yes.
and the Farmhouse, because the Farmhouse has just given us so much good evidence and personal experiences. So that's my 3. Yeah, I think one of the abandoned hospitals we've had a lot of good evidence as well. We've caught we've caught masses. We've caught a lot of disembodied voices. We've caught shadows, and the Washoe Club was definitely up there as well. So I think that's my 5.
Mine's similar to Shawn too. I think, with the exception of a couple, my top place I've ever investigated is a place called Linda Vista Hospital.
Oh yeah.
And that's just because I've seen a full body apparition there. And by full body apparition, I mean I've seen somebody looking at me that looks like a person. Like, it was that clear.
Bro.
Yeah. And so that's number 1 for me. Number 2 will probably be Crown Point. 3 would be probably Donovan Mill, and then Washoe Club and Farmhouse.
That's crazy. It's crazy.
Our little gems.
There's something about being able to see something, like, looking back at you.
Oh, it was
like,
not. And what's crazy about, like, when it was looking through a glass a window, like looking straight at me, and it freaked me the hell out. So I pushed the door open real fast, and there was no windows, no doors. It was just a cupboard, like a closet. And I open it, and there's nothing there.
Yeah, but you said it looked like the investigator that was. We were on the 4th floor. It looked like an investigator that was on the 2nd floor.
Yeah, it took on the appearance of one of our buddies, Larry, who was investigating 2 stories down. So
that's mildly unsettling.
It was not
ever so slightly.
For me, we have a video of it on our website of the door slamming. That's the same door pushed open, and you can hear me say, "Dude, somebody was in here." And
that's nuts. So we've got time for just a couple of more questions here. Crystal asking, have you had any spirits follow you home?
Yeah, we both have.
Yes.
Yeah,
that's a no-brainer. Yeah, we both have had that, and again, we both are equipped to deal with that. And persistency is a good word, because some don't want to leave, and then some they need guidance, right? And again, with Cody and I having the abilities, we resonate, right? There's a knowing that we understand, so they tend to want to follow us home. It happens.
Yeah. I had something follow me home from a mock investigation that actually ended up hanging around my life for about 3 years, and it was absolutely intense. And man, like when you're not ready for that kind of thing, like your first investigation that you go on, you're helping somebody train other people, and then all of a sudden something's like, "Oh, hey, by the way, you're my new best friend," and you're like, "I don't want to be your best friend. I just want to go to sleep."
Reminds me of one of my worst follow homes, Cody. We're at the Victorville
graveyard.
Yeah. So I ended up having a demonic follow me home.
Oh no!
We were setting up to do. We had just created a new team, and we were just looking at it and going, okay, well, how are we going to approach this investigation tonight? I could feel something come around me. I could feel the energy like come from behind me and around me. And we had a K2 and it was in the red, and it was a cemetery. And through several months, Cody was seeing this transformation. There's 3 stages, and I started with depression, and I didn't understand why I was depressed. And then it went into oppression where I didn't want anybody around me, and I kept seeing myself just going, I was just angry person, and hated everything. And then again, this was when I was just starting to study the mediumship side of things. One of my buddies one of the teachers that I had my first course with, he lives back east, probably, I think, we'll say mid-east. His girlfriend calls me out of the blue, and she never called me, but she was like, "How's it going?" And, her boyfriend was in Sedona. She was just telling me about that. She goes, "How's it going?" And I told her what was going on. And she goes, "Oh my God, like, it sounds like an attachment." Well, she goes, "I'll get a hold of," I won't say his name, "and I'll have him contact you." He calls me up and he's mad. He's like, "What the hell are you doing? You have a demonic attachment." Long story short, he goes, I'll deal with it tonight. Well, I went to go lay down and I could actually feel, this is when I got really understanding with my angels and who I work with protection. I got a chance to really see them with my third eye, what they were doing and how they did it. And you have those experiences because I think it's not by chance. It's for an opportunity to learn. So that was taken care of. I could feel the release. It made me very emotional, as well as I could feel the divinity of it. It was definitely a scary time in my life.
Yeah, that's intense. I mean, to have something not only follow you home, but for it to be something of the nether realm is not exactly wonderful.
No.
Demons, man, screw demons. Like I've had enough experiences with those guys. I'm good. I don't need it anymore. Like, I don't know, but I agree. It is 100% a chance to learn. Like, I didn't necessarily dive into it from the spiritual side of it as much as I did dive into it from the knowledge side of it. Of like, all right, how do I go about getting rid of this thing on my own?
Yeah.
And I mean, it really helps, and I think that's something that's really huge for people that are looking to go out into doing paranormal investigating. Is take a look at what paranormal investigating, paranormal research is. You know, if you are going into like let's compare it to journalism. You're not just going to go based off of whatever they've given you to look at for a story. You are going to go and do your own investigating, do your own researching before you even walk into a place, right? Before you even write anything down, you've got to have all of your knowledge ready to go. That's what paranormal investigating is. It's the same thing. It takes time. You don't want to go and just jump into it. But what I tell people, and I'm sure that you guys can agree, you don't have to have fancy equipment to get started with the paranormal.
The camera and
you just have to have a camera, an audio recorder, and most importantly, the balls to get out there and do it.
Yeah.
And don't go alone.
Like,
I'm going to stress that. If you're new, if you're brand new, do not go anywhere alone ghost hunting.
And I'm going to say this, not everything is demonic. It's very rare that you're dealing with a demonic. It's very freaking rare. I know because of my life and where I live and how I live and my mediumship side of things, I had that experience for a lesson. I know the highest divinity and I know the lowest of the lowest vibrations. So I had that to understand what I'm doing, not just in the paranormal field. Obviously, it's very good to know that in the paranormal field because it's a great way to protect yourself. But it also helps when I'm dealing with the mediumship side of things.
Right.
Very rare.
Yeah.
Very rare. Demonics are very rare.
Incredibly. Like my 32 years of life, I had my first incidents when I was 7 of an actual spiritual event. And I can tell you in my 32 years, I have had experiences with 2 demons. That's it. One of them was a generational curse. And I punched that dude in the face so hard with the Bible, he ain't never coming back.
It's just really embracing and really putting that strength into your belief system because, divine, I call it divine because a lot of people have, they've destroyed some of these names that we use, but they're there, like the divinity of it. They're there and they're the most powerful. And when you empower that, because you're a powerful soul and you're a powerful being, you're able to do those things because what you're dealing with is just as powerful as you are. And you just have to be confident that you are powerful.
Right.
Yeah. But it's about knowing, it's about in my belief system as a Christian, it's about knowing that my identity is found in Christ and knowing that the author of my story happens to be the same guy that created Lucifer and kicked him out of heaven.
Yeah.
So that's where my faith is found. Yeah. But it's huge to have some sort of a faith system, something that can keep you grounded. I don't care what it looks like, but if you don't surround yourself with some sort of a white fuzzy light before you go walk into the darkness, you're gonna get slapped upside the face with some darkness.
Yeah. I love Archangel Michael. He's very prominent in our lives. He's been prominent in our lives, I'm guessing, as we grew as well. And a white light is, you can't get past white light, but that there's no but to that. That is the most powerful. You embrace that. That's a healing energy. That's a protective energy, and that's an enlightening energy. And that's going to take care of whatever you need to deal with.
Yeah. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to start wrapping this up real quick. Guys, what's coming out next? You guys talked about next week at 1 p.m. on Sunday. What is that? What is it?
We're dropping the next episode of the Farmhouse next Sunday at 1 p.m. So be on the lookout for that. We also, as I'm sure everybody knows, we are part of Paraflix now. We're going to have exclusive content on Paraflix, as well as stuff that's going to be extra that you're not going to see on YouTube. So you go ahead.
Just to piggyback off Cody, so if you are interested in Paraflix, go through our page to if you want to sign up. It helps us.
Yeah, and we'll start posting the link once that gets closer. I do want to give just real quick 2 quick shout outs to people that have been helping us from the very beginning.
Yes.
We love and appreciate all of our fans, but Vivian from the Dead Hours does a lot for Shawn and I as far as securing locations and doing all of that stuff for us. She's so everybody go check her out. And then someone who's not really on YouTube, her name is Deanna. She makes actually our shirts for us, and she is a phenomenal person. She helps us out and continues to help us out. So thank you so much to both of you guys.
Absolutely.
Yeah, as well as
absolutely.
Yeah. It's great it's great that we have all these amazing people surrounding us and supporting us, and we're quickly approaching 9K. Again, we have huge goals. It's because of the fan base, and we love our fans. I mean, we really truly love our fans. We appreciate every one of them.
Absolutely. And that's honestly why, even my show, as small as it is, that's the reason that I still do it, is because the couple of people that come and hang out with me, they absolutely love it. Right. They love it. And I love providing them with good content. And I mean, I learn something every time that I sit down with somebody. And I think that's honestly the goal that everybody should have every day of their life, is to learn one new thing, to get better every day, better than you were the day before. But guys, down in the links below, in the section down here in the description, you guys can find all of their links, their website, all of that stuff. If you are not following, if you are not subscribed, don't be dumb. Just do it.
Love you. And I do want to say, if anybody's looking for I'm going to boost myself up here, a good reading, contact us on our website, and I will give you a reading. And I like to think I do a pretty good job.
Absolutely.
I mean, I would trust him, and I'm afraid of anything that's around me because I know most of my own dead family. So
there you go.
Dysfunction in life, dysfunction in death. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah. Personalities don't go away. I did it years ago, and grandma had this personality, and it was funny because the person just knew right away. They have their personalities; they don't go away. Sure.
Yeah. It's definitely interesting, and I think I've only had one reading before, and it was I don't 100% trust that person, and some of the stuff that they were pulling out is like, if I'm going to talk to somebody, it's going to be somebody I trust. You know what? I'm probably going to contact you. I'm going to see what's up. I'm going to see who's around me.
Yeah,
somebody I got a bone to pick with.
Yeah, the thing is if a reader is trying to tell you you've got a possession and you've got these ugly things around you, they're probably, if there's no validity to it, if there's no way to prove, then it's really hard to really believe that person. Now, I deal with your loved ones. I deal with, past loved ones, or even ones that might be struggling and they're alive. I don't deal with, you've got this thing following you around and it's causing all this chaos. I don't do that because that's not, you can't prove that. Going back to what we do in the new reality, it's just, there has to be validity. And I did it.
Exactly. Validity. That's a new shirt for you guys. Validity. But guys, when you are out there and you are following and you are subscribing to these guys, no matter who it is, no matter how big, no matter how small in the paranormal community, show that love, show that support, okay? Because we're all out here, we're trying to find answers. All right. It may not be the way that you do it. It may not be the way that you like to do it. But guess what? They're still getting answers and you can learn something. So definitely take the opportunity, show that love and support. And guys, we've got new merch out. I don't know if you guys know, but in the description below, we got that link there. We've got the Don't Be Dumb shirt. You guys definitely want to pick that up. We've also got the Ghost Squad shirt.
Might grab it.
Yeah, I'm gonna wear it every.
Well, we've also got it on coffee mugs because most people have to work with people, and it's good to just have that, at the job when somebody like your boss walks in and says something stupid. You guys could just take a sip. And also, as you guys know, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook at Sparks of the Paranormal. You guys are not following everybody in here. This is going to be a huge shout out for you guys and just everyone in general. If you're not subscribed, subscribe. And then shoot me a DM telling me that you subscribed with your YouTube channel, and I will subscribe right back. Let's help each other grow. Let's help each other get better. That's how this works. Guys, I love you all. God bless. And we will talk to you next time on Sparks of the... Absolutely, guys. Paranormal.
Punchline, bro. Come on.